The federal Green Party is now looking for a new leader. Its interim leader, Dr. Amita Kuttner, has led the party ever since former leader Annamie Paul stepped down. Dr. Amita Kuttner has served as leader of the party, and they are now working with the Green Party to help have a successful leadership race. And joining me now to discuss their leadership campaign is Jonathan Pedneau and Elizabeth May. Hello to the both of you. Thanks so much for making the time. I want to get started with you're kind of running in a little bit of a different style of leadership than people may be used to seeing in this co-leadership model. Elizabeth, I'll begin with you, and then Jonathan, you can weigh in as well. What is this co-leadership model that you are offering to Green Party members?
Well, it will require all the members to discuss, debate, and decide in a separate process from the leadership race. So Jonathan and I are technically each running to be leader of the party, but we have a shared platform to take the party from the single leader model to a co-leader model. So we're asking Greens to put Jonathan in the number one spot on a ballot that lists all the candidates, put me in number two, and that will be the beginning of our work towards co-leadership. Now, to answer your question of what it looks like in real life, we have one example only in Canada, and that's right now the Quebec provincial election is underway. People in Canadians outside of Quebec may not know that one of the prominent parties in Quebec, Quebec Solidaire, is run by co-leaders. And that represents, in the case of Quebec Solidaire, they're called co-spokespeople. Within the world of Green elected members, a lot of Greens around the world are in systems that are called co-leadership. So I happen to be the co-chair of something called the Global Greens Parliamentarians Association because we are in 80 countries around the world. We're the only truly global party, but we have Greens elected in many countries. Right now, for example, the two co-leaders of the German Green Party are now part of the government of Chancellor Scholz, who was just visiting Canada, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Energy and Economy. Both were co-leaders of the German Green Party, and now they have two new co-leaders of the German Green Party because Annalena and Robert have entered cabinet. We have co-leaders in New Zealand, in England and Wales, in Scotland, where both co-leaders are now also in that cabinet. So not to go on and on about it, the way it works is just to make it really clear that no one person can do everything. The Green Party believes in grassroots democracy, and co-leaders are one way that the structure better reflects our values.
Jonathan, same question to you, but I guess also weigh in on why you ultimately hold some of the same views that Elizabeth May does, and why you yourself feel that the Green Party of Canada deserves leadership and wants leadership such as yourself and Elizabeth.
Look, I mean, very similarly to you, I was a young journalist a couple years ago, and that led me to work in very difficult contexts throughout the world, in Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and very clearly, the world as it stands right now is a complex one. We're faced with multiple crises, the climate crisis being number one, but of course most Canadians understand and know, and they see it in their pockets and their daily lives, that we are faced with inflation right now. We're faced with a housing crisis. We have collectively failed to deliver on a number of fronts, and it's important that we collectively bring strong teams to the helm and understand that these problems cannot be solved by one single individual. Elizabeth and I are making this decision out of based on the fact that we both believe in the same ideals, but also we want to set an example, not only for the Greens here at home, but for the entirety of our political space, that the big challenges that we face require as many good people around the table as possible, and that is exactly what we're setting out to do.
And Elizabeth, you've obviously served as leader of the Green Party before in 2011 when the party had its first breakthrough and elected you as a member of parliament. 2015, you were reelected. And then in 2019, the party caucus basically tripled, going from one MP to three MPs in Paul Manley at the time and Jenica Atwin. When you look at the Green Party today, I guess, how is it different from the Green Party in the past. I mean, in the 2021 election, a lot of people, you could say, might have been hesitant to vote for the Green Party because of some of its internal turmoil, you could call it. So how do you as a party recover from that and show Canadians that Greens are to be taken as a serious alternative to, say, one of the other progressive parties in the House of Commons?
Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, the 2021 election was very disappointing. I mean, I was able to be reelected in my own seat, and Mike Morris led us to a real breakthrough, the first Green MP elected in Ontario. But a lot of the reduced results for us had to do with what I find inexplicable, that we didn't run a full slate. I'm looking for answers for that, but we've been running full slates since 2004, 2006, 2008, and so on, and until 2021, when we suddenly had almost a third of the slots empty. And of course, that has a big result in terms of the overall number of people who voted Green. If you don't have a chance to vote Green because you don't have a candidate in your riding, it's going to bring the vote down. I think our voters are still in all those places where there wasn't a candidate that was Green for them to vote. I think we will be seeing a big resurgence in how many people vote Green in the next federal election, but we'll be rebuilding from the grassroots up. Jonathan and I, by essentially job sharing, which I think is the choice of the future in lots of areas and lots of sectors, by job sharing, I can focus on my work in Parliament as what I hope will be a leader of the party working as the Member of Parliament for Saanich Gulf Islands. Jonathan can focus on touring the country, talking to our members, rebuilding at the grassroots level. We're both very committed to making sure that the party is financially stable and really well organized before the next election. Of course, my focus is between now and well before the next election. We need radically improved climate policy because the trajectory we're on takes us to an unlivable world. And that means that the work Greens have to do isn't just about the next election. It's about trying to push the Liberals and their partners, the NDP, into doing what's required, which there's some tough decisions. We have to cancel the Trans Mountain Pipeline. We have to cancel the Bay du Nord approval. And we should ban fracking in order to ensure that we reduce greenhouse gases in this country instead of continuing on our poor track record of being the worst country in the G7 in terms of climate action.
And Jonathan, when you look at the Green Party today, why do you ultimately believe that yourself and Elizabeth as co-leaders of the party is, I guess, the best, or why do you believe that you are the best two candidates to help the party recover from some of the turmoil that they faced in the past and recover from obviously not the best performance or not what you were hoping for in the 2021 election?
Well, it's very clear that no tree can stand without its roots, and I think we have to take stock of what we have. We have two amazing MPs in the House of Commons, Elizabeth being one. Our slate, our proposal to members is to ensure that Elizabeth, as a member of Parliament and as co-leader, can effectively push the envelope in Parliament, put the accentuate the pressure on the Liberals, as Elizabeth was just saying, was just discussing, and I bring the rejuvenation of the party, which I think a lot of members are also looking forward to. A lot of people throughout the party understand that the challenges that we face right now will most affect younger generations, and a number of people are asking, well, where are the young people? Why are they not involved in politics? And so a big part of my work will be to reach out to younger generations, younger Canadians, hopefully with the support of an amazing team that we have, we'll be able to rebuild confidence in the Green Party and make sure that young Canadians see us as a credible alternative, and one that is and has always been fighting for their right and that of future generations.